All right, my favorite people in the world, welcome on in. My name is Mia, and today I think I'm gonna get freaked out. Tonight we are playing the Stanley Parable, the Ultra Deluxe Edition. Um, Mainly because I need a break from Timberborn for a little bit, and I have never played this game before. It is a first time walkthrough, and I should probably add that to my tags. First playthrough. And I'm scared. I think this game's a little creepy, but I also think it's gonna be a lot of fun. And you know, I just need something else to raise my stress levels. So, I'm gonna pause the music because this game's got a lot of narration to it. Thanks, Mr. Mia. Well, as long as I have y'all here, I should be okay.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Oh, that needs to go up.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee.
Can y'all hear the
427. Employee number 427.
the narrator?
Was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month.
Okay, I'll turn it up.
Year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Okay.
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow.
That's called a good day,
showed
Stanley.
up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Hey.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Don't close my door on me. I don't like that. Okay. Where is everybody? Okay, can't go through any of the doors.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Me too, coffee cup. Me too. I hate Mondays.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So what happens if I go to the right?
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Okay.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
So if I stand here and do nothing, let's see what happens. Hi, Chibi. Thanks, Andrew. I can't wait to see pictures of Jonesy in his cute Cupid harness. All right. First open door to his left.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
I don't like to follow instructions.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, left.
Okay.
Oh, no, it's to the right. My mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Oh, this is,
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
apparently I finished the game. I finished the game
All of his
in
co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
5
Stanley
minutes.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Fine. I know, right? Short game.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago.
I didn't do
know for sure
anything,
that it's here
narrator.
somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
I can go that way. Maybe. Oh, I'm spoiled for choice. Spoiled for choice. Let's go this way. Who the... Is that garlic sauce? Yep.
I'll
that's
say
like,
it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before.
that's like Papa John's
Do we need to restart
garlic
the
sauce.
game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Ah, dang it. All right. Can't go that way.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Who farted? Okay. Ooh, I might have to lower the mouse sensitivity on this thing. It is, it's a little wild. Surname access. Okay. All right, let's go. Well, that's not going to work if, like, I go into the room that's supposed to have 2 doors and there's no doors. Knowing your city. Okay. Hey, narrator, you're supposed to be helping me. What are you doing? All right. Copier? Is that a razor blade on the copier? Fuck you, she won't tell you what to do. She won't do what you tell her. Exactly. I am my own free person. Thank you. I can't go in that door.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Okay. Coffee cups at the floor.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something.
That's from my office.
The story. Here it comes.
Ooh, darkness. All right.
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
Frustrating. All right.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off.
Oh, my goodness.
Good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people
Yes, I
win
did,
fair
damn
and
it.
square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
I love this narrator, though. Like, absolutely.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
It's got a trademark. This dude's over here playing solitaire. I want to play solitaire. Let me play solitaire, damn it.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a
What is
byproduct
this?
of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on.
You're gonna give me a
Got bit
headache.
weird back there? Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that.
Neither do I. I don't know where this
I think
line's
what we
going
need
either.
right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Monthly ledgers, corporate imbalances, financial records, departmental accounts, personnel. Wow. That seems all very secure.
the music. Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Hey, Ducky. Okay.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No.
Yeah.
Line,
Yeah,
you do
yeah.
know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Still missing the doors. Did we make a mistake following the line? Perhaps we could have found the story on our own.
Oh my god. Go this way? This is so ridiculous. Okay, we came from this direction. This is giving me like backrooms vibes without like the uber creepiness of the backrooms vibes. What's this way? My Okay, this is my office. We're back at the beginning. Can't follow the line that way.
Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
This is fucking hysterical, y'all. I have no idea what the hell's going on, but
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
all right.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination.
Apparently it's
Whatever
going
it
around
might
in
be,
circles.
Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Thank you, Andrew.
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
I'm gonna get eaten by a big yellow line monster or something like that. Okay. Bye, line. We're gonna go around in circles again.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
That's the door on the left, bud. No, that's the door on the right. I don't know my rights from the left. The confusion
Hold on, what's
ending.
this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped. Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen?
The illusion of choice here.
Okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Well, that was forceful.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
All right, let's go to the meeting room.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
There's a whiteboard manager. Jeez. Get Chris out of the broom closet. Hire someone to synergize paper. Papers are too synergized. Fire the paper guy. Hire someone to fire the paper synergizing guy. Who moved my desk? Number of slides on this slide. Monetize free to play. What? Bi-quarterly post review. Oh, God, this is just corporate America. Boss appreciation minute. Ay. Can I let the dude out of the broom closet? Okay, apparently dude wasn't in the broom closet.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, fancy schmancy up here. Look at all this nonsense. The beige pages. Oh my God. You're gonna shut the doors behind me, aren't you? Crafts. Why? Why? That is a terrible business strategy.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
I don't like this. Oh, I guess we go down. Down, down, baby. Down we go. Well, at least we're on what seems to be a storyline now.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Oh, hi. Thanks for that.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
I'm gonna go for the escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Screw it.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Let's do it. I think I did. Splat.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell. Bye-byes.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Violent.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
This is amazing. I'm gonna pause here because we're in the middle of an ad break. I don't want anybody to miss anything. Oh, this is so silly. I want to play. This is so ridiculously weird. All right, y'all, welcome back. I haven't left the little, museum to the Stanley Parable because I didn't want y'all to miss when anything happened. But like, there's filing cabinets, and you get to see the computers, and the only thing I can find that does anything are like these buttons that play different sounds, and then the credits, of course. More about the office, the maintenance room. Pictures of places. The war zone. Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Interesting. The lounge. Items from the office. There's an apartment, apparently. I'm a whole bunch of different options. Escape menu. What in the world is all of this? Like, I feel like I'm dumb and I just don't get it. Or am I not supposed to get it? Like, is this supposed to be one of those things that,
And finally, he pushed the number 9.
all right. I have no idea what's going on. How are you guys doing? How's everything for y'all? Okay, we're back to the main room. How are things going for y'all while I wander around this place and try to figure out what the heck's going on? The freedom ending? Yeah, it's basically the game deconstructed. Like it's like a museum in the middle of a snowstorm right now. We got snow last night. Yeah, it definitely feels very much like a museum dedicated to the makeup of the game. I know I passed the exit. I was looking at all the things. The exit is right here.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Press the button.
Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Squish. I wasn't going to press escape. Hey, look, I'm back in my office.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
And let's see what we get this time. I feel like that was one of the endings.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Well, the answer to that is we did find an answer there, and it was the ending. So let's go down.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that
Coffee
risk?
cup.
All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought.
It's like the brain
And while
naming
he
the
thought it
brain.
all very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over.
Stanley,
Let
wake
me go
up.
back to my job.
I don't
Let me
like
continue
this.
pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
No, you're not. Oh, crap.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Oh, my gosh.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body.
Selfish bitch.
And then she turned and ran.
Nobody's gonna report I'm dead on the sidewalk? What the hell?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Are y'all as confused as I am? Because I am very confused. But I think that's the point of this game.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Left or right? Or should we just stand here and wait for the narrator to get, like, anxious with me? This game is so dumb, and I actually am really enjoying it. Plant. All right, so let's go this way again.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first,
check all the
just
doors.
to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on his way
So
to the
many
meeting
coffee
room.
cups.
Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
So we went that way. This way.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Let's go this way. Well, there's only one way we can go. Warning, do not jump from the cargo lift while in motion. Misuse of penalty for misuse of cargo lift, $1,000. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift, $5,000.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Ooh, can I drive the forklift? Wanna drive the forklift? Fragile. Must be Italian. Oh, look, the ominous dark door, y'all. Into the darkness.
That's her,
Ooh.
Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can...
Hello? Ring, ring, hello?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you?
Dick,
I'm trying to
man.
make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Andrew. That's not
Look at him there,
true
pushing
at
buttons,
all.
doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that
creepy.
all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world,
Okay.
he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end.
God, this
that
guy
he
doesn't
might
shut
always
up, does
feel
he?
this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
All right. Not doing it. Not doing it, y'all. I don't know what they're waiting for, though. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, 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 ba. What are we waiting on? That clock isn't even accurate. It had me set the time at the beginning of the game when I was getting set up to stream. It had me set the time for like my actual time. And I set it. That time is not correct. I think the joke here is I have to push the button to further the storyline. I'll give it a few more seconds though. Because why would I not? All right. Fine.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
There's a voicemail.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time.
Maybe this time.
And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
He's die.
And I tried.
That's gruesome. That's a little gruesome. So, not a game that you want to play when your mental health is not the best. Okay. All his coworkers
A
were
soft wind
gone.
blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
Okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
My broom.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Except to give you anxiety.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Sweet FA? Fuck all?
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
He's gonna get mad.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
Right?
never would
I
have
thought
thought
Chris
to
was,
mention
was in the broom closet. That's why I looked in the first place. Spent most of my life in
Maybe
the
to
closet.
you
I'm pretty
this is
comfortable here.
somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning. Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only
Damn.
got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Holy shit.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place,
Oh my God,
making
this is
sure they understand
amazing.
basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
We're in an ad break, so I don't want to move. I don't want to move and like spoil it if he's like, "Oh, finally somebody's there." Y'all, this game is so weird. I don't even know what's going on. Let's see. I finished the 6th book. Got started on a 7th. About 25% of the way through that in a single night. I am currently reading a book called Haunting Adeline. So far, pretty darn good. "30 seconds to the end of the ad break. I don't want anybody to miss anything. This game is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So silly. All right, y'all. Welcome back from the ad break. I haven't moved because I didn't want to spoil it. Like when I do move, if the narrator says something funny. Oh, nothing.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board.
Okay.
I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Let's go to the boss's office. But I want to go this way. I've got a feeling money's for stealing, but not yours, of course. Say that's a lovely purse. For an executive bathroom, it's kind of dirty. Like, the sink's kind of grungy looking. That mirror's just gross. Looks like they spent all the money on this damask wallpaper. What was in here? Oh yeah, that's the... I'll take the elevator. Can I go up? Ooh, elevator music. Oddly radioactive paper there. Is this the Wonka Vader? Am I like gonna burst through the glass ceiling? What the heck is going on? Bye. I love the narrator starting to like hum along with the song. No. Hi. This is the same place where I was. No. Yeah. Yeah, it is. Okay. Can I go down? Okay, apparently the elevator doesn't go anywhere. Or I'm just not... I'm not patient enough? I don't get it.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody.
Lunch.
He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. but his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Well, we've been this way. Oh. It's dark. Okay. Apparently I can go behind that thing, but like there's nothing back there. Okay. Down. I think this is the way that led to my death. Because I went the wrong way.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Yeah, because I went down the escape route. Press the big button.
The lights rose
Good
on
night,
an enormous
Andrew.
room packed with television screens. What
Sweet
horrible
dreams.
secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
We were up there before. Oh. Across we go.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true.
I'm so
Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Yes.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Okay. But how? How is the question? Oh. Okay, so that's 5. One. That's 3. It's 2 up there? Okay, so 1, 2, 3 was over here. 1, 2, 3. That's 5. It's 4. Okay, I can't get up there. Not yet, anyway. Okay. What the heck? This is so weird. Okay. I guess this way. System power.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself? Is that what you wanted? Control?
Yes, why not?
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated?
This is so funny.
All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better.
This is so funny.
My goodness, only 34 seconds left.
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
Yeah.
Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons. No, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley?
Nothing
That
else
this
will save
video
me.
game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment.
I'm
But
gonna
here's a spoiler for
die.
you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life? or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke.
I'm gonna stand down
And
here.
believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
Kaboom. Bet you I'll wake up in the office. Called it. All right, we're going to do one more run through. And I think that'll be it for tonight. And I'll find someplace awesome for you guys to go.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing.
Ooh, new content.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Oh, hi.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in
This
2013
is hysterical.
on
I love
home
the breaking of the
computers.
fourth wall in this.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe
This is
features
so funny.
exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Okay.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here?
I broke it.
Should we be moving somewhere or... oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
New content.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
I love that the elevator's made out of, like, plywood.
All right.
The jump circle.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Okay. Okay. Is that it? I can't jump anymore.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could
So
never have lived
ridiculous.
up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Sure. Why not? All right. Oh, that's new? Hold on, this is new.
Psst.
Hi.
Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Okay, maybe we're not ending. That was different.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Oh, this is hysterical. Look, there's postcards. There's postcards. Oh my god. Smile because it happened. There's a freaking CD.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all.
This is
It
so
isn't even the
ridiculous.
Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Memory lane maintenance zone. The tasteful and nostalgic. That's Minecraft. That's Minecraft. That's not even like it's not even the Stanley Parable.
here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories. These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again.
We came in from this direction. Oh, look, this door's open.
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh, no. Oh, God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
I want to read more negative reviews. That's hysterical.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I?
You're pitchy
You can
right
tell
now,
me if
buddy.
I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Oh dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure, like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the
Oh, well, this is
customers.
going to be fun.
Yes, a skip button we shall have.
All right. Hey, look, a skip button.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you with just the push of a button. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps... Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof! Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. Oh, Stanley, you're back.
Look, the
You're
tree's
back.
dead.
Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week.
A week.
Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single...
Push the button.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time, I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only...
Ugh. Hello? Hello? All right. Guess we push the button again. Push. The fire alarm's going off. And the clock's down. Oh. Can't hurt.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world, as though there were no consequence.
Silence.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
That's not ominous.
Is never the end, is never the end, is never...
We have a door yet? Nope. Ooh. Oh, there we go. Something changed at least. Oh. Press the button. Hey, it's the outside. But I still can't get up there. Guess I don't think I can. Nope. Okay. Only thing left to do. Push the button. Hey. Imagine after all this time, I'd be starving. Oh. Well, that's not good. Okay. Sounds like dinosaurs. Aliens, maybe. Whoa, hi. Oh, look. Okay. We are in a wasteland. Sweet. I'm gonna keep going in this direction. I don't know which direction we're supposed to go into, but I'm assuming that, like, it really doesn't matter. Did we die? Yep. All right. That's enough of this for tonight. All right, y'all. I'm gonna find you all someplace really cool to go hang out. Let's see who's live tonight. Mute tab. Do 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 do. Let's. I think. I know where I'm gonna take y'all. I've got a friend of mine who is playing the Mist games, so I'm gonna take you over there. Because, you know, why not? All right, y'all. There's your grayed out messages. There's a link to the Discord. I love your faces. Thanks so much for hanging out with me while we played a really silly game. I will be back on Sunday. All right. Be good or be good at it. I'll see you later. Bye.